Show.
No, it's not the fucking Dale Wheatley Show. It'll never be the Dale Wheatley Show. What's up? What's happening? Delicate is here.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I have so many stories today. Lots of things are happening in entertainment news. Some tragic, some interesting.
Yeah, we got a lot of stories. Our Cowboy Raccoon. Let's let some people roll in first. Mm-hmm. I'm getting battered. I'm just getting battered. Today is like the worst, like one of the worst days I've had in probably years.
Well, why did you decide to do a live today? You're feeling bad, or you're feeling better?
I can't. Well, I'll be all right. I mean, I'm just going to tell people right now that, yeah, it's not the Conan O'Brien show.
That Alan is near?
It's not Alan.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Alan's fine.
Yeah. It's true.
Alan sleeps. It's Dale, and I'm under fire.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we had a rough week.
It's been a very rough week.
We skipped the last live because our dog was like really struggling to recover from anesthesia. It was really awful. I wasn't worried about her because I used to work at vets, so I know what anesthesia recovery looks like. But man, it was rough. Like I didn't want to leave her out of my sight.
Yeah.
But she's fine now. Everything's fine.
She's okay. Yeah,
That's how it
she's
goes.
fucking miracle dog or some shit. I don't know, or just whatever.
Dogs are like that. I hope that if anything horrible happens to me, I can be like a dog. I've had dogs who like the day they woke up from surgery having a leg removed, they're like pulling on the leash. Like they don't care. They're like, thanks for taking off that dead weight. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
Resilient.
Tanner got a job.
Oh, nice.
And he's feeling good. He started it yesterday.
Oh, I hope he's like a fish in water.
Mets won a couple of games. I mean, they can't make the playoffs, but you want them to win.
They can't make the playoffs?
No.
Even though they're winning? Baseball's weird. I don't understand it. It's like some weird ancient code you guys all seem to know.
No, they just, they
sports
rules. They play a
rules.
season like in football. They play a season.
Can you explain something to me?
Wins and losses get added up, and the teams with the most wins make the playoffs, and then they play each other, and somebody gets to become
I
a champion.
get that much. It's like a bracket, right?
Sort of, yeah. Not really. Brackets are more tournaments. They're a little bit different.
Yeah.
Brackets happen after the season, not during the season. The season is the battle to the brackets.
Can you explain something to me?
Yeah.
How do boys, at least...
They just... What?
They just unzip?
Yeah.
How do boys grow up knowing, like by osmosis? Like, how do you guys know sports rules? Like,
We learn them. We're in sports.
But like, did you have to ask
plenty
questions?
Plenty guys who don't know sports.
I feel like none of you ever asked what the rules of the sports were. You just start watching sports and you know them. And I just find that very strange.
I think that I think what you're witnessing, or what you think you're witnessing, is that boys who start, or women, doesn't matter who it is, girls, when you learn sports, it's kind of like video games. It's kind of like you learn the basic language behind sports that you could say is almost the spine behind all sports in many ways.
So if you grow up playing sports, then you are an adult who knows.
Or watching and appreciating sports, like in any way in which you interact.
I've watched sports with you for like a decade, and I still don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah,
so
well,
I don't believe you with that.
Well, I've never played football in my life, but I can tell you, I can do play calls, and it's not just because I played Madden. It's because I watch enough of it, just like any other repetition thing. I watch enough sports and I learn the shit.
So I guess I'm just a dummy.
No, you're just not into sports.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not very curious. But like, you guys aren't like reading books about the rules of your favorite sport. Like, you're not like taking a course or like learning, like watching a video to teach you about the rules. You guys just know it. It's like weird. You just like, I feel like I've been in a bunch of rooms where dudes are watching sports, and then somebody will say something and like the other person will just like correct them about like, no, actually, not like in a rude way, but like, no, actually it works like this because the rules are like this. And everybody gets it except for the people who are new. And I just don't know whether you guys are like born. Do you like come straight out the gate like that? Like knowing the sports?
Nope. It's a learned thing.
Team sports.
Nope, it's a learned thing. We're all learning.
I know, but you're gatekeeping though. I still don't know how you ever learn it. And we can move on because obviously you don't want to divulge, it's like a secret club or something. I get it.
I told you what it is. It's literally watching the game. You watch the game and they explain it. They tell you all the time. When you say 1st and 10, you'll be like, well, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Well, you literally learn as you're watching,
but they don't
that there's a repetition because it's just like any other
None
pattern.
of the announcers are explaining the rules.
In other news, I was I was super saddened to hear about Hayden how do you say her last name? Panettiere?
Don't ask me.
Screwed up every time. I thought I was going to get it too because I was saying it earlier without any help at all.
I was surprised that you knew who she was, that you watched a show that she was on and liked it. I'd never seen her in anything. So.
I thought that Heroes was one of the best. Like when the question has come up, you'll find it in my answers from years ago on Reddit when they ask like, "What's the best first season?" or "What show had one of the best first seasons?" Yeah. And I always bring up Heroes because Heroes' first season was one of the best first seasons of all TV.
What made it so great? You like the writing?
The writing was perfection. It really it was such a well thought out, well executed, well written, beginning to end, full season. It left you in the most perfect spot, fully satisfied with everything that you've seen and craving what's coming. It was perfection, and all of the characters mattered. They all arced out incredibly. Any flaws that you would find were easily forgivable, almost forgettable, just because the overwhelming experience was so solid.
So you were sad when you heard about her passing?
Yeah, very sad. I was, Panettiere. As I look at the word, I see the name. It says Panettiere. Hayden Panettiere. Yeah, so I think that's the correct way to pronounce it. Anyway, yeah, man, it's extremely sad. She was 36 years old. It's now clear that she died from a drug overdose. There was, what do they call that stuff that you carry around? Everyone should have it. Narcan? Narcan.
She said that in her, I saw somebody say that in her memoir, she talked about how she struggled with the opiate, like prescription drug addiction. Because I guess she had some sort of pain and she was prescribed meds, and then like everybody else that, gets sucked into it that way. She struggled to overcome it. So I wonder whether that was it. They are we'll hear in weeks when the toxicology report comes back.
So what I'm reading is, I guess her friend got to her while she was alive.
No shit.
She was in the event when she got there, and she's the one who called 911. And I guess they've got the call on TMZ.
Yeah, of course.
I don't really care about the call. I mean,
fucking vultures, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, they. I heard that too. That they did CPR and stuff, life-saving measures.
So it's just super sad, because there's the world is so difficult, and I guess it's like a weird thing because like I'm also like in this like place where I've been struggling a lot, just generally speaking, just struggling, and so yeah, when you see somebody like, somebody who was so young and so talented and so and had so much opportunity, and that opportunity was in some way like, that there was obstacles put in front of her that were so insurmountable that she couldn't find a way around them is heartbreaking.
I bet you know a lot about this specific time in her life because you also wrote a memoir about a difficult period, and then you published it. She released her memoir in May, and she was doing like a whole book tour thing, like a publicity tour about it. And it looked like it wasn't like a smiling publicity tour. Like it seemed like she had been sorting through really heavy things.
Yeah. So
can you sort of relate to that period of time where your book is published, it's got all this heavy shit in it, and then like, do you feel like at that period of time like you're a little bit more raw and more sensitive? I just wonder whether she was having a really difficult time. It seemed like she was at a high point.
I mean, listen,
but at a high point with your memoir, your like tell all, expose your bones memoir, it seems like it might not feel so good.
I just don't think that there's really one way for any of that. And so I think that, I don't know if it had anything to do with her reliving, some of the haunts of her past, or whether or not she was just dealing with the same drug addiction that broke up her marriage, allegedly. So, she's been struggling with drugs for a long time, according to reports. And I did not know the woman, and I was a fan of her early work. I never really saw anything besides Heroes, but I thought that on Heroes she displayed a very strong ability. I mean, she was, easy to look at, and she could, act up a storm. She just did great. Anyway, it was a cheerleader and, whatever. So it's not like this. It's not, Meryl Streep stuff.
Yeah, there's only a few roles somebody that looks like her is going to get.
That's she killed the role she had.
It's a shame about Hollywood.
You're not kidding. So anyway, Hayden Panettiere is no longer with us, and that's just sad as fuck. And I hope that those close to her are going to heal. She has a daughter who lives abroad with her husband. He's a boxer. I think it's Klitschko, Vlad Klitschko. Anyway, sad news. I was shocked to see it. And it was, it affected me probably more than I thought it would. What about you?
I had never seen her in anything. I just knew of her, and I've only just recently been reminded of who she is because of her book tour. Her memoir seems interesting, and she was doing a little bit of, the Hollywood memoirs that have they'll tell all, but they won't name names.
Yes.
So there was a bunch of people going around, on Twitter,
trying to figure out who they are,
social media, trying to identify
pin the tail on the donkey,
the people that were abusing her. It's really rough, man.
I name names.
Yeah, you name names. And I don't know why they don't name names. I'm actually really grateful that you didn't try to go through the traditional publishing track, because they probably would have kept you from naming names. And it doesn't seem like there's any reason not to. I mean, if you experience these things and you're telling the story truthfully, name the fucking name.
Yeah.
But speaking of people being sued for telling it like it is, did you hear about there is a lawsuit that's going forward against Brian Friedman?
Oh, no.
This one's very juicy. An LA judge has concluded that the actress from Zoe 101, her name is Alexa Nicholas, that she has established a probability of prevailing in a defamation lawsuit against prominent Hollywood attorney Brian Friedman and Melissa Nathan and Jed Wallace over a smear website. His anti-slap motion failed. So this is going to move forward, this lawsuit. This is about... How
many? How many? Let me see. How does it go? How many?
How many lawsuits against Brian Friedman?
Right, okay.
I mean, hoisted by his own petard, I guess.
Friedman, right?
Friedman, yeah.
And it's Bryan. Am I correct?
That's right.
Okay. Prominent entertainment attorney Brian Friedman is personally feeling he's got at least two active. Alexa Nicholas, is that the one you were talking about? Yeah, from Zoe. And then Travis Flores.
So Alexa Nicholas, here's the story, okay?
Yeah.
She was in an abusive relationship with a man.
Yes.
Her ex-husband, Michael Milosh. I don't know who this is. You're not supposed to know who this is, okay? Alexa Nicholas, she founded an advocacy organization called Eat Predators, which is dope. I was like, already I'm on her side. Eat Predators, okay?
Yeah.
But she has a long and contentious history with Friedman because her ex-husband, Michael Milosh, hired Brian Friedman as his legal representation when Alexa Nicholas sued the musician, he's a musician, for sexual abuse. She had organized protests outside of his office, of Brian Friedman's office, in 2022 after discovering that he had also been accused of sexual assault in a case that resulted in a no-fault settlement in 1991. So she was like, oh, my fucking abuser hired a lawyer who's an abuser? Oh, we're going to talk about this. She's like, I have a foundation. We're going to publicize the fuck out of everything that's going on. This is garbage.
Baldoni did the exact same damn thing.
Yep, that's right. Around the time of these protests, this is from the Hollywood Reporter, by the way. Around the time of these protests, a smear site that aimed to undermine her activism, including through assertions that her current husband was a predator, popped up about her. Smear websites. But it wasn't until Blake Lively exposed all of those smear websites. It was the Stephanie Jones lawsuit where they exposed all the smear websites. that Melissa Nathan was putting up.
Yeah.
And Stephanie Jones didn't want to get dragged into that, right? Stephanie Jones had a smear website built about her.
Right.
So she exposed all these other smear websites. One of them was against Alexa Nicholas. So it's only because of Blake Lively's lawsuit and Stephanie Jones suing the Wayfarer parties that Alexa Nicholas was able to sue and find out who the fuck was behind the smear website that she never knew. She never could track down who was responsible. But now she's suing. So Brian Friedman's only argument against it is that, let's see. Let me see if I can find this part. Whatever. I can't find it. Brian Friedman was just basically saying that he didn't think that that she could prove that the claims on the smear website were false. He's like, I don't even deny that I was part of a smear website. He's like, it's not defamation because we said true shit about her, is what his defense is. And the judge obviously is like, well, let's put that to trial. Like, obviously this proceeds because you guys have an argument that can't be settled before. Among the findings, Nicholas sufficiently demonstrated a probability of proving the alleged defamatory statements were untrue. This includes a claim on a second smear site about her that she partnered with former California Senator Joe Dunn to push others into making false accusations of sexual assault. So they just made that shit up about her. Anyway, they pointed to court records across multiple cases in which several plaintiffs describe a similar modus operandi and common website traffic optimization tactics. So thanks to Blake Lively and Stephanie Jones for uncovering all of this and helping all these other ladies.
Yeah, they opened up doors for sure.
Yeah, it's great.
And yeah, hopefully that means that they go down eventually. I mean, they're bad people.
Yeah.
They do bad things.
Yeah, I don't know what the good explanation is for putting up a smear website. Like, I'm not sure that that's actually representing your client properly. I don't know that there's like what's the ethical explanation for why they did that shit, you know? Like, it seems all bad. In other legal news, I found this for you.
Okay.
So Nick Reiner is scheduled to return to LA court for a pretrial hearing on September 15th.
Right.
In July, they had they brought new charges against him, and they just unsealed those charges. So he was indicted, special circumstances allegations of multiple murders. Nick Reiner, in the death case of his parents.
I also read that his 1.5, there's a law that doesn't allow him to have that money. Because
oh, no kidding.
There's a specific law, and I can't remember. I meant to save it, and I probably didn't. It's probably buried. But yeah, there's a law that causes for that money to not be able to be used for legal defense or something like that.
It's probably like the Menendez brothers law or some shit, you know, like, because that was the whole thing. The allegations about the Menendez brothers was that they killed their parents to get the money.
Well, he had a trust fund though, so it's a little bit different because there's a specific, it's his money. I think there's some kind of rule, and I'm sorry, I'm not prepared for it, but
that's okay. I think that the trust fund has a stipulation. I don't think that they accounted for this though. They have a stipulation where you don't get the trust fund if you, I can't remember where. But he seems to think that he's entitled to it. I guess they just have to figure that out. I mean, whatever. Let him spend his money on a fucking legal defense. Right?
Exactly.
Anyway, the special circumstances was that they determined that Nick Reiner was lying in wait. And he also faces a special allegation that he personally used a dangerous and deadly weapon, a knife. So these are all special circumstances on top of the murder charge. Every state has different rules about this, the different charges and stuff. I guess this is all a little strange to me because I'm not really familiar with California's.
Well, he's not going to get, he's not going to get Jackson. Is that his name?
Well, he might if he can afford him.
Yeah, well.
The guy's on standby.
Yeah, but they went after the funds, and the funds are a no-go. Mm-hmm. So Jackson's like, bro, I get paid to do this. I'm not, what's his name from O.J. Simpson who does that shit?
Oh, O.J. Simpson had a pro bono lawyer?
Not for him, but Paul Fleck. Is that his name? Something like that. No, that's somebody else.
You're thinking of Bela Fleck and the Flecktones.
I'm actually not. No. You would not believe. All right, well, anyway, in other news. Well, first of all, let's go to chat because I haven't seen any. Who's here? Little Black Cat said they just finished watching Heroes on Netflix, and that Hayden was great.
Yeah, that's super sad.
Son of Sam Law also. Little Black Cat.
The Son of Sam Law. What's
Al
that?
Jackson, thank you. I don't know. Are you mean like the Son of Sam Law with regards?
Oh, the Son of Sam Law. I know what this is. It's that you're not allowed to exploit your crime in order to like sell a book deal or like like have a movie made of your story. Like you're not allowed to exploit your own crimes for financial gain by like telling the story or anything. That's what that is. I know this one.
That's pretty cool.
I have other stories for you.
It's a law that prevents. Hang on. Wait. Little Black Cat. It's a law that prevents, and we're just waiting now. Obviously, This is happening on their end.
Spiders.
I think Little Black Cat. You from profiting from your crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the trust fund wouldn't be a profit.
Which completely ruins my plans, by the way.
Yeah, well, that's why I stopped criming immediately.
It's a very deterrent law.
Yeah, it is indeed.
In other crime news.
We just keep saying that today.
I got segues.
We have nothing but in other.
I got segues on segues. You want to hear?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know who Chris Watts is?
No.
He's a horrible murderer.
Oh.
He murdered his family.
Oh.
Because he didn't want to have a family anymore. His wife was pregnant with their third child, and he was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. So Chris Watts murdered his wife and their two young daughters. And then, I don't know if you remember, but he then...
the unborn child, I'm presuming?
Yes.
Okay.
And he drove them out to the desert and like stuffed his daughters in some tanks or something out in the desert and then buried his wife in a
I do
shallow
remember
grave.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, the reason why it's so memorable is because the police have so many recordings of talking to him and him being like a fucking like super nervous stress case while they're just questioning him. And they show him the neighbor's security cameras because what he alleges is that his wife took the kids and left is what he's telling the cops. Because he calls the cops and he's like, my wife is missing. And then he says that she took the kids and left, but her car is there. And so he's like, well, she left somehow, he's telling the police. And then the police ask the neighbors, and they actually have surveillance that he is not aware of. And they have surveillance on his driveway. So his neighbor totally picks up in clear view Chris Watts bringing multiple things to his car before he pulls away that night. And he has not told the police that he's done anything like that. So that's how he got caught. But the whole thing is like there's so much footage of you can see this guy's face. Like super nervous because he knows he's about to be found out. The police show him the neighbor surveillance video and he doesn't even want to look at it. It's really incriminating. Anyway, Chris Watts is in the news because he has a fiance. He has a prison pen pal. She moved her and her mom closer to him. She's from...
I did read this.
She's from Ohio. Her name is Lizzie Watts. She's already using his last name. Her name's Lizzie Watts, and she's a former realtor from Ohio. She moved closer to the prison, her and her mom.
She's going to write a fucking book, bro.
So that she can be with him. They're waiting for the prison to approve their marriage. And somebody said this is hybristophilia. And I had to look this up. There's a word for this.
Hybristophilia.
It's HYB, so hybristophilia. Huh. And this is a psychological condition where a person feels romantic or sexual attraction to individuals who commit terrible crimes, such as murder, rape, or robbery. People often call this the Bonnie and Clyde syndrome. Famous criminals like Ted Bundy often receive love letters and fan mail because of this weirdo fucking disorder behavior. And you were talking the other week about, what's his name? Ramirez? He had a bunch of fans that were like visiting the court. Richard Ramirez, the serial killer.
Yeah. He had women.
Isn't that weird?
Floundering at his feet.
Anyway, I didn't know that there was a word for it. If you
guys can hear that, I guess it's...
We have construction near our place.
Some construction going on at... sorry.
Hybristophilia. So anyway.
Yeah, well, that's wild, man. I never even...
So congratulations to Chris and Lizzie Watts on their
Here comes the bride.
Nuptials.
All dressed in blood? What happened? Speaking of blood, Tupac Shakur, his murder trial began today. And I'm trying to find it because I got this like one thing that was like, what? And now I can't find it.
Well, what was the detail?
And you know what? I told you already when I started this podcast today that I'm all battered up today. So if I fuck up 100 ways today, you're just going to have to deal with it. Or you can just like, leave me. Like everybody leaves me.
Like everybody else.
Leave me like everybody else leaves me. So, Tupac Shakur, he was murdered 30 years ago this September, I believe. Next month, on my brother's birthday, as a matter of fact. He left me, my brother. This dude, Keefe.
No, Keefe.
Keefe
D.
Keefe
right?
D.
Is that it?
I don't fucking know, man. I just don't know. It's like I
have no idea either.
And I haven't figured out how to. I haven't like watched a video on the guy. He stands trial, this man, for the murder. They showed a video of Tupac and
Suge Knight
and Suge beaten up on the. I don't know if it's the actual defendant or just his crew.
It's the defendant's cousin or nephew or something. And so they're alleging that the killing was retribution because of he got jumped and
they got jumped. There's video of it. They showed it.
Right.
And so they got jumped, and then and then subsequently.
Which obviously.
Well, also the defendant, Keefe D, he was, according to apparently he had a big mouth all these years.
And he was telling everybody?
Did a lot of interviews. I think it's going to be one of those Karen Reed situations where this guy's like doing interviews and just basically telling on himself. Including like sort of white.
Because wouldn't you want to take credit for it? If you're the kind of piece of shit that would actually try and kill a man over somebody else getting their ass kicked, wouldn't you be also the type of piece of shit that wants to take credit for it? A super famous guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the crazy shit, by the way. I don't know. Maybe people know this. I did not know this. But Tupac Shakur was, when EMS got there, he was alive.
Oh.
And the cops. He was alive when they all got there. And he was asked if he saw who shot him. And he said, yeah. And then they said, who? And he said, we'll take care of it. My people will take care of it. He wouldn't tell the cops who shot him. How's that for an ending to a movie?
Damn.
He didn't tell the cops. He was conscious, speaking to the police as he was bleeding out and dying. And he wouldn't tell them who shot him.
Because he was like, you guys aren't going to bring me justice, but I'll get street justice.
Yeah, man. I'm going to fucking go on trial, bro. This man's going to die. It's
crazy.
Blood in the streets. It's absolutely utterly frightening. And we were watching this what's that sociopathic show we like to watch? Bring on the psychotic shit. What was that?
Signs of a Psychopath?
Signs of a Psychopath, yeah.
Yeah.
On I think it's HBO, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either, but maybe it's HBO. It's really well. I mean, it's terribly produced, but like they're really good.
It's just absolutely horrifying because what I like about the show is that they are looking at cases where the perpetrator is believed to be a sociopath.
A psychopath. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There's the show's really great because they have like at least 4 different forensic psychologists explaining what the fuck is wrong with the guy. And they also, I also really appreciate, I like to watch the interrogation footage because I hate cops and they lie all the time.
Yeah.
But they do a very good job of extracting these, confessions from these guys. That's why you should never talk to cops.
No.
Because they're extremely good at extracting confessions, even false ones.
They are. Mm-hmm. that's the, I mean, that's totally different, like from where I was going.
Speaking of sociopaths.
The show I like, the show I like, or the reason I like the show is because, yeah, it's got all these, like, these doctors, and they're spilling the beans on what's going on in their heads as they're coming up with these various stories or reactions.
Yeah, it's neat.
And, you know, there was this one where there was this, like, this Texas Ranger who, like, exalts himself to the highest level, but he's, like, you know, one of those braggadocious motherfuckers who actually
that's
delivers.
A different show. That's a different show.
It is?
Yes. That one was like something Texas Rangers.
No, it's not Texas Rangers.
It's a different show. Yeah, and it's
That
about
might be
him.
true.
It's about him. He's the
goat.
The protag of the show.
Fuck. Told you guys.
I didn't know you were going to bring this up. Like, I feel embarrassed. They're all like, you know, guilty pleasures. These kinds of programs. I'm just, I like to, you know, sometimes I admit being a sicko, but I don't want to like give you details about it.
Oh, Plaid is here and said, I liked your podcast on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us.
Hey,
live.
That's neat.
Yeah. Now they get to see all the editing I do.
What's so fun is because that's a new thing you're doing.
It is a new thing I'm doing.
We've been doing this for like a year or whatever, and
Yes.
You've only just started publishing on Apple Podcasts. That's so great that somebody discovered you.
Yeah,
but now you get to see how the sausage is made.
We're about to blow up. Thanks for coming by. We have a really cool community with us.
Yeah.
I hope you'll. Sorry to talk all over you.
Oh, I'm good.
Fun in the editing room for me. Connie DiCaprio is very upset about Hayden Panettiere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cosmic Urgency says that one of the stories Hayden Panettiere told in her memoir seemed to be about Leo to him because of remembering the story that I told
Because they were hanging brain.
in my book about the hanging of the brain.
Well, she said that it was a
Gumball, wad of gum,
yeah.
moth.
She said specifically that it was that the person that she was not identifying was a big actor and director.
Right.
So that negates. I mean, maybe it was Kevin Connolly.
Oh, yeah, no, he's not a director. That's true. Yeah, that wouldn't be Leo.
Is it Kevin Connolly?
He's not a big director. Kevin Connolly would never pull out his balls.
No, she said a big actor and director.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying, but
Kevin Connolly wouldn't pull out his nuts, right?
No, he's not a big director. But Kevin Connolly would never pull out his testicles, ever. Never.
Well, so who would?
I don't know. Maybe brain was just something popular. So for those of you who don't know, in my book, there's a story about a bunch of dudes that I would hang out with who would take out their balls in public.
Through their zippers,
Through
right?
their zippers and just hang their balls out.
God.
And sit around at parties and like talk and interact as if nothing was wrong until we heard a gasp, a scream, a shout, a laugh, a cry. And then we knew, of course, that somebody finally found Blake's balls.
Very mature.
I got to say, it is. And obviously, I was 24 when I was first introduced to the concept of hanging brain. And I couldn't breathe for laughing. Like, I could not breathe. There was no oxygen I could get because everything was constricted in hilarity.
Genuinely don't know why anybody would think that it was appropriate to do that to a woman. To prank another dude seems like, you know, guy shit, right? But
Yeah.
But she was appalled in her memoir when she described this actually happening to her.
Yes.
That she was appalled makes so much sense. I can't imagine a dude actually being like, "Hey, you're a girl who I don't actually really know very well and I'm not like super close to. What do you think about my balls?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, let me tell you.
It's so fucking weird.
Let me tell you that every time I saw brain being hung in Hollywood, it was not like in any kind of like sexual manner. It was as like a freak show manner. It was more like
Yes, I know.
circus show, right?
No, she was saying that she was at a party.
It wasn't like sorry to talk over there. It wasn't like Peyton Manning, you know, putting his testicles on that woman at a party.
Yeah, he was
like
trying
nobody
to-
was assaulting anybody.
No, he was trying to humiliate that woman.
It was inappropriate humor that was at the time considered fine. We were all laughing our balls off as it was happening. We were all like, and I don't recall anyone ever being like wildly offended by it. That's not to say that there weren't people who were offended and wildly so.
Do you remember chicks around at the time?
Well, at one of them was a big party, so absolutely, yeah. There were chicks everywhere.
See, that's not the story that Hayden was telling.
I mean, he was walking up to people and being like, hey, how's it going, man? What's going on? And I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and he's looking a guy in the eye, surrounded by a group of people all drinking and smoking and doing whatever in a little circle. You know, at parties you get into your little circles. You break into these little circles. His balls hanging out. Mostly nobody notices. The funniest part of it was that he would go around and just like shop for shock and just wouldn't get it.
But do you see, like, okay, the difference I'm trying to...
Yes.
Like, it's funny to do that to dudes.
Yes.
It's menacing to do that to women.
There's no way I would have known that at the time because I didn't have that sensitivity. Like, I didn't understand, women and what they're up against.
Like, what you're doing when you're like, hey, Hayden, look down at my nuts, is like you're flashing her. Like, that's like subway perv behavior.
For sure. Yeah, no. Inappropriate. Her story is scary perv.
Yeah.
My story is crossing the line hilarious.
I do genuinely appreciate using your balls as a comedic device.
Well, in Hollywood in 1994,
it's good. I've always liked prop work,
in Hollywood in 1994 and 1995, there was a lot of C and B,
Cock and balls?
A lot of cock and balls. And it was just, throwing around at parties or doing whatever. And, look, we went to Lars von Trier's Zentropa Studios in Denmark, and we pulled up to an arch, and on the top of the arch was a dildo. This was the greeting of the studio that just picked up Don's Plum. When we went into Peter Albeck Jensen's office, he had this like shelf that like went around the edge of his the room high, like it was like just there was like maybe 2 feet from the ceiling, this ledge. And on it was the most extensive dildo collection anyone has ever seen, except unless you're, of course, at a...
So weird.
And it's not even like it's more than you... It's like a museum of dildos. So there was just like this era where it was just like people were doing this thing, and I didn't understand it, but I was around it and I laughed at it when it happened. This is, again, a time in my life when I had almost no sensitivity or no understanding.
Yeah, of course.
Until somebody would explain it to me. Once explained, I was like, oh, fuck, gasp. But until my ignorance was exposed, I participated in shit I wouldn't otherwise.
I cannot imagine walking up to somebody like Hayden. She's like a teeny tiny, she's like 5 foot tall, a teeny tiny little blonde, and thinking that you can make that kind of joke with a girl like that without her feeling like extremely fucking vulnerable. And, like she's going to be the victim of something, like you're not a complete fucking psycho for doing that.
Yeah. The other thing is that Hollywood already has a reputation, an eternal reputation of, sexual, predatory, fucking people, and their prey, of course, young actors and actresses, typically actresses. Hate to use the word actresses, but for the differentiation, right. I'll use it. It was a different situation, same joke. Again, I don't know. This was obviously in the 2000s, mid 2010s, maybe. It was like in there, so times had already changed,
Speaking of Hollywood being run by a bunch of weirdos.
Boy, have times changed. Like, it's just when you sit back and you think about it, like, from the 90s.
For the better.
Holy shit. Well.
And the worse in some ways. But
like, simmer down now. Donald Trump is literally the president of the United States.
There's a lot that is, like in the 90s, it was kind of taboo to be out and gay and have like a partner who you would like have public displays of affection with, right? And now everybody's demonizing trans people. They don't want trans people to exist in public. But being out and proud and like walking hand in hand and smooching your partner in a gay couple is like completely fine and totally normalized. So lots of things have changed. That Harvey Weinstein went down and is, living in squalor in some prison somewhere is like a really super big positive. You know what I mean? Like things have changed from the 90s in Hollywood.
There's some great things that happened, and then there's some god awful things that happened. I mean, this is pretty much the circle and cycle of life, right? Like, it just happens this way. It's just good things happen, bad things happen. In the end, we hope that we're advancing towards something more delightful.
Yeah.
So, Plaid777 asks, so this is the podcast. This is just like the podcast or something. And, so this is just the same as the podcast, basically. So the podcast is I've begun cutting these lives into these podcast episodes. I'm about to release the 3rd episode from last week, and I'm going through the learning curves and all this other stuff. So, but yes, this is sort of I do really well with a live audience personally. Like I kind of thrive on interacting with people. Doesn't matter how many. It could be 1, it could be 4, it could be 100, it could be 1,000, it could be 10 million. Please. But I thrive on it. It's a part of the energy that I.
It's so funny to be like, please clap.
Please clap. Would you please clap? Cosmic Urgency didn't realize that she had said director, but I think I remember you reading.
Yeah. She said something to explain that he was like a big actor. I don't know what word she used. She didn't say big. A big actor and director. Anyway, I wanted to ask you about this because you know a little bit about Hollywood business stuff. But apparently they're having a hard time agreeing on the Barbie sequel.
They're having a hard time agreeing on well, yes, I heard about this.
Yeah, because, okay, there's like a 4-person dream team that they want involved in the Barbie sequel.
Yeah.
It is the director, Greta Gerwig.
Yeah.
It is Noah Baumbach, screenwriting.
Yeah.
It is Margot Robbie, and it playing Barbie. And then obviously Ryan Gosling for Ken. There's 4 people, and they want a shit fuck ton of money. And it's not like they haven't earned it, because it was like the most earningest, box office smash ever. So they're like, bring us back. We'll do it again for you. Don't worry. Like, we got this.
Just got to pay me.
Yeah. Well, apparently, the studio doesn't want to do that. Somebody said it was classic Zaslav, whatever his name is. Classic Zaz, one rival executive said summarily on the CEO. Another source advised this debacle be added to the list of errors the TV-bred executive has made in his tenure.
The error being that he isn't fulfilling their request?
No, he is holding back, dude. This is the same guy that shelved Coyote versus Acme, which is going to come out next summer.
Rave reviews.
I know. He just keeps making huge fumbles.
To rave reviews. Actually, I think it was John Cena do an interview on it, and this is so interesting. I didn't see the interview. I read a little segment from it, and I related to it so heavily because he was like, he felt so much hurt.
Yeah.
Now check out so people, in my vulnerable situation with Don's Palm, a lot of people cannot comprehend why it means so much to me. And here's a guy who was in a situation where the movie was shelved by the people who owned it. Yeah. Where everything was done above board and legally.
I know, and you can't really complain about that because that's their business.
And what did he do but suffer? Yeah. John Cena suffered.
Exactly.
And this is the guy with the money.
I know.
This is the guy with the fame. This is the guy with the continued work. I mean, this guy his career didn't depend on this movie. He just happened to love the movie he made, and to know that it was going to be shelved was heartbreaking to him. And a part of his quote was that he's just like, I literally just did everything I could to just forget the whole thing.
Contrary to your situation, where the people who tried to shelve your movie were just actors who had no ownership whatsoever.
Yeah, and
they had no no claim to be able to shelve your movie or do anything with
Ostensibly, they stole the movie.
They could have just
destroyed it.
complained about it, not promoted it. Those were the things that were within their power. It's fucking crazy. Anyway, what's crazy about this story is that. Let me see if I can find this.
Cosmic Urgency said that Hayden played Amanda Knox. He said, Hayden played Amanda Knox, Angela. That's in your lane.
Yeah.
What's Amanda Knox?
Amanda Knox was the woman who was accused of murder in Italy. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah, of course. Did she?
Okay, but can we not change topics real quick?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm trying to tell you that we're talking about the Barbie sequel?
Yeah.
Okay. You with me?
I'm on board.
The reason why this is a big deal is because in 4 months, the intellectual property will revert back to Mattel, the doll maker. The scuttling of a sequel deal comes as Warner Brothers film chiefs DeLuca and Abdi have roughly 4 months to put another Barbie movie into active development, or the rights to the iconic doll revert to toy maker Mattel. If new contracts don't materialize, This is from Variety. If new contracts don't materialize, Mattel will not be permitted to use a shred of Greta Gerwig's Barbie as a jumping off point and will face a full reboot. Gerwig and Baumbach have an idea for a sequel. Variety has confirmed with 2 sources, but they won't let one miniature plastic shoe drop on the table before they have signed agreements. These writers.
Well, here's what I predict will happen.
But the other miniature plastic shoe is going to drop.
You were asking my opinion, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, here's what I think is going to happen on this.
Because you're my inside Hollywood guy.
Yeah, this guy, it's just posturing, dude. I mean, it's just all posturing, and it turned public. Who knows who's spinning this out? Whoever's spinning it out is probably the one who has, the weakest card or thinks they have an ace when maybe they're not holding the ace that they dreamed of. Because I don't think it's a good play. Whoever put this out, somebody spun it, right? The stuff can stay inside. So somebody's letting it out, whether it's an agent, whether it's the talent, whether it's the studio. Somebody's letting it out. Somebody's trying to make a bad guy out of this. And I'm not saying this guy isn't the bad guy because Hollywood's filled with bad guys, so it's all good. But I'm just saying that this is a tactic to try and move this forward. Putting that deadline out there is, and look, we don't know what the contract actually says between Mattel and between the studio. We don't know that they're not allowed to reboot it with somebody else completely within their current deal. So in other words, we don't know that they can't, in terms of their negotiations, say, "Hey, we're going to make it without you. I know you guys are the big Barbie's the star here." It's like it doesn't matter whether you agree or not. It's the play that they're going to try and make. Mm-hmm. It's not about agreeing, right? Nobody can play. What's the one that Johnny Depp plays that can't be played by anybody else?
Oh, Pirates of the Caribbean guy?
Yeah. Jack? Was it Jack?
Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow.
That's right.
Which, by the way, there's talk that is coming together. Mm-hmm. And the reason why Jack Sparrow can't exist is because Jack Sparrow can't exist without Johnny. Or the reason why, the reason why Pirates of the Caribbean hasn't happened yet to any success is because its success surrounds Jack Sparrow, which gives Johnny Depp all the leverage. So it's kind of a reverse situation in what they might be trying to play. But what I predict is going to happen is that they're going to come to an agreement. I think that these guys have probably come in way too high. There's no these fucking movie stars and
they didn't name a number, but the whoever was writing for Variety was like quoting people saying it's like life-changing money.
Yeah, it's life-changing money.
Each one of them are asking for.
Right, it's life-changing money.
But it was Warner Brothers.
So they're going to come off the money.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they don't fucking need to. It was Warner Brothers' highest grossing release ever.
Point is if they're getting it's so funny because like the Allisons, well, nobody owns fucking Warner Brothers right now. That's so interesting. Well, it does have a CEO, obviously. If it's life-changing money, then half of it is still life-changing. If it's life-changing money, then 3/4 of it is still life-changing. So the idea that the negotiations are dead is ridiculous. Now it's probably a play by the executive because of what we're getting is this for the spin, right? Which is that these guys are asking for gobs of money, and this guy's like, "No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to play that way." I don't, whatever. I don't fucking negotiate with terrorists. That kind of nonsense, right? But in the end, what's going to happen is that the agents are going to succeed. They're going to get on the phone. Nobody's going to let the money slide. The agents are going to let the money slide. The filmmakers aren't going to let the money slide, and the actors aren't going to let the money slide. There's way, 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 way too much money on it. And what they're going to do is they're going to put it all on the back end. They're going to be like, okay, it's the same thing they do in sports all the time when you want to get the big fucking signed massive fucking player. And he's like, dude, I want to be the highest paid. I want the fucking headline. You don't give me the headline, I don't play for you. So they have to, and within sports, they work with these restrictions called caps. And so they're only allowed to spend so much money on a payroll every year so that one team can't just outbuy another team in terms of competitiveness. So what they do is creative accounting, right? And they begin the process of like figuring out how to move money here, put money there, create incentives here, back end deal that, merchandise this, et cetera, et cetera. So what's going to happen is that these guys are not going to get the upfront that they want in its entirety. They're going to get a good chunk of it, as much as 3/4 to 2/3 to 3/4, whatever. And then they're going to get the rest of what they want in a really nicely padded back end deal. And that's what's going to happen. And all this nonsense is just nonsense that, we're talking about it because like, cool, whatever, it's a conversation or whatever. But it's a stupid play of typical Hollywood business. This is nothing new. This happens all the fucking time in Hollywood, every fucking day. Every time somebody becomes a big fucking star, the next thing, a part of the reason why studios fucking deal, with multi-year contracts and multi-this and,
is to lock them out of doing this stuff?
Look what they did. Look what New Line did with Lord of the Rings. They fucking ripped those actors off, dude. Like some of those, like, I think Sean Astin got like something like $250,000 for all 3 movies.
That's crazy.
All 3 movies, dude. 250 grand.
Well, that's why he is the president of of SAG-AFTRA now.
That's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
What a punch in the face, right? So it's not. It's right for them to take a place and try to put themselves in a position to benefit from the obvious value that they bring, and they're not going to leave all on the table because Barbie doesn't come around all the time. So fucking Margot Robbie can't pull Barbies out of the fucking sky. These are massive IPs, and the appetite is there. Watch this, man. Watch this. So Barbie's success happened while Venus was in retrograde, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that Greta was born with Venus in retrograde.
Venus is about to go in retrograde again.
Correct. Venus is about to go in fucking Libra.
Yeah.
Libra is what?
The balancing of the scales.
The balancing of the fucking scales. And it's also the home of.
And what's fair and what's fair and what's balanced and what's like just.
So they're going to get the deal that they like, not the deal that they want, but they're going to get the deal they want, the deal they like. And they're going to get that deal probably while Venus is in retrograde. Watch it happen. That Venus in retrograde on this is so imprinted on this movie, and that we're approaching another Venus in retrograde while this movie is in some kind of state of reconsideration is wild. So, and like maybe it happens before that, but I think the energy is there.
I have to drop like a recommendation. Chris Brennan's astrology podcast. When the Barbie movie came out, he couldn't believe how much it had to do, like the plot and the people involved and and its release all happening at Mercury retrograde. Venus retrograde. So he did a whole astrology episode on Barbie and the myth of Inanna, because the ancient myth of Inanna, I think she's a Mesopotamian goddess, but it's very, very similar to how Venus behaves in retrograde. But I really recommend that episode if you want to learn more about what we're talking about Barbie and Venus retrograde patterns. It's crazy.
Yeah, he did a whole thing. It's crazy.
Yeah,
he went nuts about it.
So much that has to do. It all matches.
Platt is asking. What do filmmakers do things based on planets? I'm confused. Well,
for sure, dude.
Some might use astrology, but
if you download any of like those like financial planning apps or something like that, they all have like a tab about the moon cycles. Like financial people, bankers and shit have been using astrology for decades and decades and decades.
Yeah, and also how astrology works is very often in retrospect. So it's not so much necessarily that people are applying planets to their decisions, but rather the planets are, in retrospect being sort of observed as I just can't fucking get it right today. The answer to that question is that astrologers look at events and examine the sky when they happened, and they make correlations that are relative to astrological significations, if that makes any sense. Oh. So what they were able to do is, like, in retrospect, I don't think that Greta Gerwig is necessarily doing anything about Venus in retrograde as it relates to her life or to her work. It just so happens that her life and work has significant Venus retrograde energy. And so as an observation, you can see that, so when you observe something like that, you can look into the future at future retrogrades, and there can be an expectation for similar type of events depending relative to the houses and the signs that they're in at the time. So things change, but there's almost like a pattern of behavior that can become very recognizable.
But it's no secret too that Hollywood screenwriters are and TV showrunners and stuff are rehashing mythology all the time.
Yeah.
So it's just like not beyond the realm of possibility that they just copied the myth of Inanna. I misspoke. It's not Mesopotamian. Inanna is an ancient Sumerian goddess.
Yeah, Inanna. Yeah.
But she, the premise of Barbie is that she's living in this her ordinary world is like this dream world where everything is perfect. It's like constant springtime, constant summer. I guess it's summer, right? And then she has to go on a mission. Inanna has to go on a mission into the underworld. She has to rescue, I think she has to her sister is Ereshkigal, who's the goddess of the underworld, whatever.
Yes.
So she has to shed her garments. She has to shed her jewels. She has to completely transform herself in order to go into this new realm, which is completely hidden to her previous normal world. She has to cross a threshold into this brand new, different world. And that's exactly what happens in Barbie, where she has to shed all her Barbie stuff and then venture into the world of humans, and then she makes contact with this other goddess, right? So it's very much the same. I love the myth of Inanna when I talk about, not that I always talk about it, but anytime anybody references the experience of mothers in childbirth, there's a person you are before you bear a child, and then after you bear a child, you are a mother. It's like a very, you go down into the underworld and then you come out completely different. You've gone on a journey and you've transformed. This is very much the myth of Inanna. So Venus retrograde is very much if you think about Venus retrograde and the patterns that it plays in people's lives, usually it's you'll see a lot of celebrity women will get divorced because they suddenly have an awakening. They've been drawn into the underworld and seen their world from a different perspective, a perspective that they weren't aware of before. And then they decide to emerge brand new, It's really incredible. That's going to happen again. Watch this space. You'll see a bunch of celebrities getting divorced in the Venus retrograde.
We do anyway, probably, you know what I'm saying? So it's hard to, but I think that what you will see is some, maybe some that come out of nowhere or ones that you thought were unbreakable, do you remember when Harrison Ford, when that was announced that Harrison Ford and his wife were breaking up? Because Harrison Ford
I don't remember that. I don't remember him ever being married. Oh, Callista Flockhart is his wife, right?
Well, before her. He had, it was like a Paul Newman kind of.
I guess I'm showing my age.
Joanne Woodward thing where it was forever.
Really?
Yeah, no one would have ever thought that. And he was also Mr. Integrity. And
yeah.
And so, and for whatever reason, divorce can still have that stigma of, oh, so you're broken. You're all damaged.
No, it's a broken home. That's true. That's what they say.
So, anyway, No Two Trolls is with us today.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. When we've got all the best of the best, you got Delicate. I wish Bobo would come back. I don't understand what's going on. I'm going to have to go to Toronto, I guess, figure this out. Fuck is Bobo at? Jeremy the Loner is with us.
That's fun.
Yeah.
What are they saying?
They're saying hello all, and his wife wrote E.T.
Whose wife?
Trying to figure that out.
Oh, Harrison Ford's wife wrote E.T.
Oh, really? Well, then she's a genius, because that's probably one of the greatest screenplays ever written. I'm so surprised that it doesn't it's not always in the conversation, or maybe it is. I don't know. Is it?
It's funny, it's so easy to see Harrison Ford as the hero that he always plays. I grew up watching Indiana Jones, and so he's this big solar figure, right?
Yeah.
Can do no wrong. It's obviously always cares about truth and justice and, making things right, whatever. All the heroes he plays, even if he's a little ornery as he does it. But you hear about these celebrity divorces and maybe he was the asshole in the situation, Like Tom Cruise. You see that picture of Nicole Kidman where she's overjoyed that her divorce was finalized? What did he put her through?
So there's this place called Films Fatale. Oh. Films Fatale published the best 100 screenplays of all time, and they don't have E.T. on it. So
they
all credibility is lost.
Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about.
Well, I mean, it's such a like presumptuous thing to do anyway, because, you didn't watch all the movies. You haven't read all the screenplays. What do you mean?
Maybe they did.
No.
You have read 100 books in your life.
Way more.
So since your 20s, if you just started
but
reading...
100 books would be like, my top 100 books would be all the ones I read.
No, I know, but screenplays are much faster to get through. They're only like 100 pages.
Yeah, no, but they're not just everywhere. Melissa Matheson is her name.
Okay.
She was born in 1950.
Well, she's fucking brilliant, dude. E.T., this screenplay was awesome.
Yeah. She was writing, she wrote some video game stuff. It looks like she was just doing E.T. stuff since E.T. I don't care, dude. You know what? What's her name wrote, To Kill a Mockingbird. One time. One time. Great, one of the greatest novels ever.
Yeah.
I mean, she did eventually write a second novel just before her death.
Her name is Harper Lee.
No, it's not.
Dale.
No, it's not. Harper Lee, like a friend of Harper Lee, gave her a year's salary to write her book. She wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, and she won the Pulitzer Prize.
I know, it's incredible.
She won the Pulitzer Prize, and then never wrote another book until nearly the end of her career.
Did you read that one?
Or didn't publish one, at least.
Did you read that one in school? That was required reading in my school, and I
have not read To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, you really should. It's actually one of those really great. Like there's some books that get assigned. Like I remember being really pissed off that I had to like read and like fucking write a stupid report about Old Man and the Sea. Because like when you're in fucking junior high or high school or whatever, like you don't want to read Hemingway. It's boring. Especially Old Man and the Sea. They're like, let's talk about all the religious imagery. I'm like, let's not. But To Kill a Mockingbird was really, really such a brilliant book. You really should read it. It's so great. I'm really glad that I was exposed to it because I probably wouldn't pick it to read it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Apparently Harrison Ford was. Thank you for all this beautiful E.T. stuff, because I am a huge E.T. fan.
Is that your favorite of Spielberg's?
No. Oh, man.
Jaws.
Yeah, like it could be Jaws, and it could be E.T., and it could be Close Encounters, and
Sugarland Express.
Yeah, not quite, but I was impressed, man. Fucking, it was funny to see like Spielberg, the infancy of Spielberg.
Yeah.
Still had like many of the kinds of shots and styles that he used throughout his whole career.
Yeah.
Like he didn't change a lot from one film to the next.
That's great.
He did. But but the more money he got, the more he was able to think these things through or whatever. Great filmmaker. Yeah, Melissa Matheson. Well, anyway, I love that screenplay. I think it's one of the greatest screenplays ever written. And I can't imagine how anybody would not see that as one of the greatest screenplays ever written, even if, like me, they couldn't possibly know and have read all the screenplays ever written. But of the ones that are, I guess you could say of all the movies nominated or of all the winners of Oscar, hers is the best. I don't know. I fucking love it, though. Why are we talking about it? Oh, Harrison Ford. Yeah.
Can I change the subject?
I guess you could, yeah.
You were talking about To Kill a Mockingbird, Harper Lee.
Harper Lee, yeah.
And speaking of courtroom... I'm trying to segue from everything to the next thing. Speaking of courtroom drama, like in To Kill a Mockingbird, what do you think about Luigi Mangione? Luigi Mangione, our friend who was with us at Bible study when that healthcare CEO was shot? You know that guy? The one who was that friend of ours, Luigi? You know Luigi, right? He was like helping us rescue a kitten from a tree.
Hey, man, that works for the flock cameras.
That whole weekend?
That works for the flock cameras, Angela. It doesn't work for capital murder.
He rescued the kitten. The kitten came down safely because of him. I know. I was there.
Let me tell you about how I feel about Luigi. I'm having a really difficult time emotionally these last couple of weeks. Really, the last month and a half has been very difficult, but it's gotten like I'm just going through a really tough time emotionally right now. And when I found out that Luigi Mangione was going to plead guilty, and that he eventually did plead guilty, I was stricken by sadness. I was stricken by it. First of all, I wanted to believe they got it wrong, and that because I wanted there to be this like folk hero that was out there who got redemption for so many people whose lives were lost by the decisions made by the CEO and his management.
Like there's actually, I just assumed the entire time that there was actually a hitman who'd been hired, right? Because he was dude was in a lawsuit at the time, you know? I was like, okay, well, this kind of shit happens all the time. I mean, like, obviously, you know, you guys all remember the Boeing whistleblower that was like testifying in a lawsuit and then all of a sudden he suicided all of a sudden before the next time he was supposed to testify, you know, like in a deposition. Like these sorts of things happen all the time. So I was like, obviously this guy is like in a high stakes lawsuit and they want him gone. And so they hire a hitman and then Luigi is like taking the fall for it and he's an innocent guy. I still am very confused why he didn't continue to fight for his exoneration, because even if he did do it, which still seems strange to me, because the comparison of like his clothing didn't match, and also the way that he jumped up on a bike didn't seem like a guy with a horrible back injury, like whatever. The videos were not compelling to me, but they had a really, really bad case. The way that they searched his belongings when they picked him up in the McDonald's, all of that was super fucking fishy. And I also just feel like trying him in New York, it's really easy to get a jury to be really, really scrutinous of the evidence and to realize that these cops are actually dirty, you know? He could have actually prevailed and gotten freed. I'm very, very surprised about what went on in the background. I believe that the guy must have been threatened, because even if he did do it, he had like a really strong chance of being found not guilty, because their investigation sucks. I
believe his confession.
Right, but you know how O.J. Simpson, I mean, I don't know how many people believe that he didn't do it, but you and I both saw the trial and all of the evidence. And
I'm certainly that the majority of people, the majority of human beings believe that O.J. Simpson.
But the reason why he didn't end up convicted in that trial was because the cops fucked up so bad that you just can't convict somebody on bad police investigation. Like bad evidence, the chain of command of all of, the chain of custody of all of the evidence is all fucking screwy. And like these cops had the same exact problems. They biffed it from the very beginning. So I'm just really surprised that he didn't prevail. But I saw this really interesting quote. I was reading a review on a James Baldwin book, and this person reminded me of James Baldwin. You know who he is, right? Iconic Black author. He did several interviews with Audre Lorde where they were just having a conversation. Those videos are really amazing. But in one of them, he draws a distinction between responsibility and fault. James Baldwin, he uses the example of like a black man in America who commits an offense because he is stricken with poverty and he does crimes just to get by, you know?
Stealing bread.
Yes, because he's stealing bread, exactly. He says that that man would be responsible for the crime, but not at fault for the crime. Because there's a whole system, there's this whole oppressive system that caused the circumstances in which he had to do the thing to survive. So yes, he's responsible for it. You've found the right person who did the thing, but he shouldn't be considered at fault for it. And this is how I think a lot of people are looking at this Luigi Mangione case.
Which is absurd, right? You can't in my view, you can't put in the same category that a man or a woman trying to feed their children by stealing bread.
No, it's not comparable. You're totally right. But when you think about the two of them and how much like blood they have on their hands, I don't know. I mean,
well, let me just say this. I don't believe that we need to live in a world where anyone is being executed in the streets for the things that they're doing. I do wish that it didn't have to come to that in people's lives in order for them to feel heard and in order for them to feel that any kind of justice has been served for the way in which they have been treated or handled by these corporations and these individuals within these corporations. So I would never in any way ever condone or celebrate or laugh at vigilantism that is taking away lives and children's fathers. I don't like violence. I wish violence would go away forever. What I do recognize, though, is that people can be driven to violence. that their lives and the way in which they're treated by others can drive people to violence. And some of that activity comes from, underlying conditions, some kind of psychosis, or some kind of mental disorder potentially. And the other can just be that you take people to the tipping point, the movie Falling Down, right? Where you just you're taking people to the end of the road, and there's nothing left for them to do except fight. So and sadly, we live in a society where the government in this country does not take care of anybody, right? It works with everybody that already has everything as a means to keep that cycle of wealth moving through their circles, right? Mm-hmm. And for the rest of us, they're like, it's the American dream. Go get it. Pull up your bootstraps. You got to pay off your loans, and then you'll have an opportunity. You'll see. Then you'll be able to invest in Apple stock like I did.
I did think it was really interesting that Luigi Mangione wrote in his confession. He basically explained how he pulled it off.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this one of those fucking manifestos that's going to go around online and everybody's going to share it and learn from it?
What was so
cool? Is that what we're doing?
What was so cool about it was also that he was like, yeah, so I called up and I said I'm a guy with a $53 billion fund. And he's like, I got to call back in an hour.
And they told him,
unlike when I was calling them,
they told him exactly where to meet the CEO
for the issues.
That's what happened. He was like, you know what? With all your money, I know a guy you should meet. You should meet our CEO. Fucking idiots.
Let me say something, if I may. I just want to not correct the story, but just get this right for you guys, because I brought it up, and I brought it up prematurely because I'm totally off my game today, and I'm not even going to fucking apologize. I'm sorry.
That's cool.
Sorry, I'm not going to apologize.
What is it?
Let me see. That didn't work. Oh, what the hell just happened? This is live. And when we're live, shit goes wrong. And you better be ready. Nick Reiner was blocked from a $1.5 million trust fund due to the Slayer statute.
The Slayer statute.
As he faces murder charges for parents' killings.
So you're not allowed to benefit from an inheritance when you kill your parents.
So the latest trustee for Nick Reiner's trust fund has blocked his request to access money from it to cover. God damn it, I'm so sorry. Just having that day, bro.
Don't worry about it.
Pop-up ads.
We're good.
Just going to start over. The latest trustee for Nick Reiner's trust fund has blocked his request to access money from it to cover court fees and commissary costs, citing California's Slayer statute.
Yeah, but this is still contended. This is a very interesting thing. They're going to test this law because,
of course, they are.
No. But listen, because the trust had allotted money to him before, when he turned 30. The guy's 35 years old now. Okay, but when he turned 30, he was supposed to be given this amount of money in the trust. The trust was gonna release money. His siblings got it. Maybe can't remember if he's the oldest, but. Whatever. When he turned 30, he was entitled to it. And he was already fighting with his family about how he was supposed to get that money. But he's a drug addict dirtbag. And so his parents were preventing him from getting what he was actually entitled to. So what he's trying to get is the money that he said what he was entitled to get before he was a slayer. Now, what happens to the trust money after he's a slayer? This is money that's already allotted to him. So it's not money like an inheritance coming from his parents. It's different. I think that they have this Slayer statute to prevent you from getting an inheritance from your parents. But when a trust has already determined that you will be allotted money that's earmarked for you, I think it's different. What?
Nothing. Just listening.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. You were making a face. I wasn't sure what it was.
It's my face.
It's just my face. I have one of those too. I have resting, irritated face,
So yeah, the article says that the 32-year-old who's accused of all these murders, of course, claims that the trust which his parents established in his name in 1993, after his birth that year, is in excess of $1.4 million and that he should have access to it. And the previous and incoming fiduciaries set to oversee the trust, Paul Cannon and Jody Pays Montgomery, have opposed his request in court papers filed in early August, citing a California law known as the Slayer Statute. The law prevents individuals from inheriting money or property, including trusts, from a person that they feloniously and intentionally kill.
Feloniously?
Yeah.
That'd be a really great name for a band.
Felonious Monk?
Yeah.
So it's about that, man. It's about, hey, you can't inherit money from the people you kill, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but he's making the argument that it's not an inheritance, that it was already earmarked to all the 3 children, and it was outside of the control of the parents.
And that and the other thing that they're going to be able to prove without any doubt is that his murder wasn't financially motivated.
Oh, why?
He wasn't killing for the money.
Why do you think that? He already was not getting, he believed, I think it was like an argument with his parents that had already been going on for several years, because he was supposed to get money when he was 30 and he wasn't, and he blamed them. Now, I don't know who's responsible for him not getting the money. I can imagine parents having to deal with somebody as like unhinged as Nick Reiner would be like, no, dude, we're not going to give you like millions of dollars because you're just going to fucking waste it on like fucking drugs in Santa Monica or whatever.
I think the worry was more that he would end his life by overdosing or...
Yeah, he's already been in like rehab like a dozen times since he was younger. So I understand why they would do it, but he didn't think that it was fair. So I think that was already a point of contention between them. But if he's not saying that was a motive, then it can't be called one, because that's like an inheritance he should have already had. It's interesting, right? I mean, only as interesting as like anybody cares about financial.
Yeah, I don't care.
Rich people and their money.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't care. I mean, listen, I think that if it's his money, he should have entitlement to it, as any other defendant would.
Yeah, right.
You know, if the statute applies, then the statute applies, and it's, public defender for you. I mean, no matter what happens, this dude's going away forever. And it doesn't matter if somebody slick and overpaid comes into the scene and gets him some kind of hospitalization. He's going nowhere for the rest of his life.
That's the way I feel about it. If I was one of his siblings, I would be like, well, obviously he's never, like, let's make sure that he can go into a treatment facility so at least he can, like, and not, like, waste away in a cell getting sicker and sicker, I would want him to have the best defense so that he can get, psychiatric help. Because he's not going to get that in prison. That's for sure.
No, impossible.
He's just going to get like tased all the time.
He's going to go through it.
Whatever they fucking do in prison.
So anyway, it's like another sad situation. The world is so sad right now. It's sometimes this show can be difficult to do just because. Well, here's some happy news. You want some happy news?
Yes.
Donald Trump, according to his.
That's really funny.
According to his personal Supreme Court. The one he chose, handpicked?
Yes.
The one that loves him so much and that he praises to the heavens? Mm-hmm. They finalized the E. Jean Carroll $5 million issue, and he must pay. So that means that the Supreme Court has acknowledged that the law...
That he's a sex offender.
Yes, that the Supreme Court of the United States has confirmed...
What are we fucking doing, you guys?
The judgment against this man for rape.
It's just exhausting already.
That's what they confirmed. The Supreme Court.
I can't be in this. Here's the thing. It's so weird. Because, like, I'm an elder millennial, This country used to have such a fucking boner for integrity. I remember I was, like, involved watching politics. Like, my parents were interested in politics. I was like, I voted my very first time that I could, and I voted every single like midterm and like, small ass local election ever since. Like, I come from a family of voters. We have always been involved in like understanding civic duty. And I remember when like, everybody always brings up Dan Quayle, right? Because he misspelled a word and it was disqualifying. But like, I feel like younger people can't really understand how far we've fallen and how sudden it was and how jarring it is. And I personally I can't reconcile the fact that there's so many people who are like lifelong career military people or like civil servants or something that like real like oath keeper type people, where where they're like, I took an oath to the Constitution, and they feel like really, really purposeful about it. Like, I'm struggling over here trying to figure out what the hell happened to this place and where politics lost its interest in integrity. But those people must be having like fucking whiplash. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Who knows, man?
Whatever. I'm excited that E. Jean Carroll is going to get $5 million cash from the loser. And I'm also excited that the Supreme Court has recognized and substantiated her claim and her victory in court. And so there can be no doubt about whether or not this man is by the law responsible for the act of rape against this woman. And he had his day in court and he lost it, and the Supreme Court agrees that he lost it. So pay up, buddy. So that's good news. And in some somewhat related news, a former Playboy playmate, Audra Christensen, she says that the FBI did not follow up on in 2005 when Hugh Hefner told the FBI that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked and abused her.
And they didn't follow up?
They didn't follow up, dude. We live in a country...
This shit has been happening for so long.
That's what I'm saying, because you're saying, you just went down this, like, I'm an elder millennial, and I'm not making fun of you, but you were just like, because this is the kind of thing I was making fun of with Don's Plum.
It was all propaganda. That we were interested in integrity, that was like, that you had to reach a certain high bar of integrity to become a president, was all a fucking lie.
A lie. And
I remember being offended when I was like fucking 18 years old and I voted for Obama, and I voted for him because he said he was going to close Guantanamo, and I was like, yeah, that's the right thing to do because you have integrity and that's why I'm going to vote for you. And then he completely dropped off, and then we continued to torture fucking people who probably weren't even guilty of anything in Guantanamo Bay. And I remember being like pissed and being like, what is happening to our country? But that was like all the way back then. Man, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, we live in a world where the law applies to some, and the some is the people who are incapable of defending themselves or paying for the influence in the ranks of society to sway those out of the troubles. This is what we saw with the Murdoch trials, that, prior to that whole unraveling of that family, that they were using their power to abuse the people around them and the privileges that they were given as a result of being where they were in life in terms of stature and station. So, it's been going on forever. It's a facade. It's always been a facade. There was a lie that we all were being told and that we were all living with, and we were joyfully playing. It's so funny because I see things about like Tiananmen Square the other day. There was like this whole like video of like shit that was taken out of the Chinese being violent against their citizenry, and then the first flashback in my mind is David Koresh, or the Philadelphia fucking massacre.
Yes, the MOVE bombings.
Bombings.
And then the Waco bombing. Yeah, Waco. What was it? It was like
David Koresh and the Waco. They had a
Branch Davidians. Yeah,
Branch Davidians. Thank you. So
that was just bonkers, dude. Like, the government has been.
But it's just like how powerful propaganda is, because
so terrible.
The power of propaganda is so incredible, because like I lived through all those events. Yeah. I remember the whole Janet Reno thing when David Koresh was going down, and I didn't live through the Philadelphia MOVE thing, but I got later exposed to it, and while having been exposed to it, I still had this sort of extremely patriotic point of view about the freedom and safety and protection of America over other countries like China and whatnot. And the reality is that it's all a lie.
Yeah.
It's all a lie. Like, if you get on the wrong side of this government, if I get on the wrong side of this government tomorrow for whatever reason, I'm a wrap. It's a done deal.
No, I mean, like, just the other day, like, somebody was just like laying out all the ways that we abused Cuba, but we keep calling them the aggressors just for the crime of, like, they refuse to be enslaved by the United States imperial power. So,
it reminds me of that, because
Americans demonize Cuba and Cubans because they just are refusing to like be subjugated.
It reminds me of my situation with Leo DiCaprio, because I've always pointed this out. Like, I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. I'm literally struggling to make rent every month, I'm the bad guy. I've literally offended nobody in my entire life. There's not one single offense I have made against another human being in my life. Never taken anything from anybody.
Oh yeah, and you never harmed DiCaprio in any conceivable way whatsoever.
Please, I mean, it's the most absurd thing ever.
Yeah. I know people don't think very.
And then people actually think like Dale is the bad guy.
They don't think very critically. It's really crazy.
He's sitting on $200 million, carrying on a facade about being an environmentalist while he's hanging out on super yachts.
Yeah, you're like, go ahead and tell me how I've harmed just Leonardo DiCaprio.
And in Cuba, you have the situation where if you go there now, there's no modern vehicles. Technology is like they're 50 or more years behind where we are here. There was a photograph on.
But that's also propaganda, because they have really incredible medical advancements. They're still.
I mean, I've never seen anything, and if
you haven't, because you're in the belly. You're in the belly of the beast. So
but have you seen it?
They do more humanitarian missions to other countries with their doctors than any other country. Cuba.
Well,
like Cuba
that.
They're the fucking good guys.
I'm not going to argue, but I don't believe that they're outperforming the United States. They are now, maybe because Big Boy cut it all, but before Big Boy cut it all, I think America led most of the world in that, and maybe that's propaganda.
Do you want to hear?
It's true that we don't know what the fuck is propaganda and what isn't.
Do you want to hear more political crimes and on the local level? You want to hear about it? It's not good news, but it's a segue. That's what we're doing today. We're segueing.
A what? Cosmic Urgency asked a question that I haven't got an answer for, and neither do you. It's, what did you guys think of the trailer for the new Carrie miniseries?
Oh, I haven't seen the trailer, but I have seen the casting, and I think it's terrible.
Like, Sissy Spacek is just so, like, it's just, why?
Sissy Spacek was great, but she was also against the type in the book. Here's the thing. You have to believe that the girl would be bullied. And the girl that they cast, she's probably an incredible actor, right? She's got to do a bunch of different shit in the miniseries. But the girl that they cast is beautiful and slender and like clear skinned, you know? Like, she's just a cute redheaded girl. And it doesn't fucking work, because why would everybody in her school bully her just because she wears like conservative clothing? Right? Because her mom is like a fundamentalist religious nut and dresses her all the way up to her neck. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, Sissy Spacek for me was able to pull that off, because Sissy Spacek, while
cute,
she was definitely quirky. And
she could play being like
it's like Shelley Duvall that way, you know?
Yeah, she could play being an ugly duckling. But this girl that they cast is not, you can't imagine her as being an ugly duckling in any context.
Summer H. Howell.
So that's why I just don't, there's no reason why this girl would be bullied. And it's just like everybody, she's got pretty privilege. It's like, wouldn't work out. Carrie in the book, she is overweight. She has bad skin. She's like, the way that she's described. And her mother also badgers her about these things too. Like, her mother badgers her, being like, they're all going to laugh at you, Carrie. Like, you're a mess. So you can't go and put yourself out there, because look at you. You're a disaster.
I will say this, especially after watching Couples Therapy on Showtime, a series we loved, that I am surprised about how many really physically beautiful people don't feel as beautiful as they appear to me. And also how many of them struggled with their looks before they ended up this sort of, ugly duckling kind of story. But a lot of people, but like, if you start life out not hot,
yeah,
and then you kind of mature into beauty,
this is true.
You're not gonna have the same understanding of the power, grace, and reality or truth of your beauty as if you were somebody who had that reinforcement from very young.
Same thing goes with the weirdo kid who has like all the comedy and charisma and stuff. He's just like been encouraged, made everybody laugh from a young age, and now he's like the star of every room he walks into because he knows how to be goofy and play into it, even though he looks weird or whatever. right? Like this is very common. But I think that your early childhood imprinting socially definitely influences the rest of your life. If you're like the ugly duckling syndrome, it never goes away. You're always going to feel like an ugly duckling, even if you're a beautiful swan. But that's the reason why I feel like, these fucking people who do the casting and producing of these like book adaptations, they will cast against the type in the book, but it's just so bizarre to not recognize that there's a very, very clear reason why you wouldn't cast a objectively gorgeous girl in that role to play Carrie. But I'll watch it.
Yeah, me too.
Who plays her mom?
I don't know because I clicked away.
I think I remember that casting being amazing. Like looking forward to seeing, because if they're being a little bit more true to the book, the Sissy Spacek film adaptation, her mom was really compressed. Like there's a lot more of her mom in the book. Her mom being like
Samantha Sloyan.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Well, she's a pretty one.
Sloyan.
Born 1979. Yeah, Samantha Sloyan. She a Capricorn. Let me see, Capricorn Sun.
Oh, she does a lot of other horror stuff too.
Yeah, she did The Pit. She was Lily Bradley in The Pit. She did 7 episodes. So we know who she is.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to remember her in The Pit.
Well, we'll see what she does.
She did 7 damn episodes. I should know her in The Pit. I love The Pit.
Look at this picture for the Carrie series.
How pretty she is.
All of the pictures that they have of Carrie, she's gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
You can't
I
do
just
that.
noticed this. Yeah, I just saw this. She's absolutely beautiful. I agree that takes away from what the story is about. It's gotta be so frustrating for even like for writers. Like if I wrote all that shit, poured my heart onto it, it became one of the like greatest horror novels of all time, legendary shit, whatever. They made a great movie out of Carrie the movie. That thing was. I don't know if it holds up today, but
the Sissy Spacek one.
Yeah,
it's great. I mean, the book.
That pig's blood scene was just fucking crazy.
The book is a lot. The paranormal stuff in the book is like way cooler. So they didn't even go there. That's why I'm excited about the miniseries. Like they might, especially Mike Flanagan. He likes to make Stephen King adaptations that are really close to the books. So he'll probably do a lot of crazier shit. And so I'm
gotta be careful with that too, because like as great as Stephen King is, and I've read half his catalog probably. I mean, I've read a good 30 books of his.
His endings suck.
And he also just breaks down occasionally. Like
yeah,
you'd be going through the book and you'd be like, you got to slog through 2 chapters to get back to the scenes that you like. And
there's always like the last 30 pages you could just like not read.
Almost all the time. It's
but it's fine though, because the books
it's like
are
how we end
it.
our lives. We're like, okay, so this is unplanned. Because Stephen King is a pantser writer.
Well, I'm also like that at just generally socially at parties. Like I like to do the Irish goodbye because I'm so bad at goodbyes. I like to just like fade into the hedges,
The a pantser, by the way, pantser writer is a writer who goes in without any outline or even characters. They just start writing. They come like maybe with one idea, like
psychopaths,
and they just go and it comes out.
You got to be insane to do it.
I think I could have done that back in the day. But I think it's definitely something you have to exercise early in order to get strong, like real strong. Know what I'm saying?
Yep. Anyway, I was going to tell you this bad news about how Tallulah Gorge is going to be, they're going to steal water from Tallulah Gorge for a fucking data center. It's like cartoon villain shit, guys. We have this amazing, like, in North Georgia has incredible, it's like the Southern Appalachians, And so there's all these really amazing geometric, what's it? There's all these really incredible like waterfalls and like mountainscapes, and so we have our own little like really deep gorges. Like I never lived in a location in the country where there's so many of these, like the river cuts through and creates 2 mountains, But one of them is Tallulah Gorge is in the northeast of Georgia. And it's gorgeous. There's campgrounds all around. And there's a Tallulah Lake that feeds into the gorge, and it's this huge, massive, like super tall waterfall. If you've ever seen Deliverance, that's where the waterfall scenes, the rapid scenes were filmed.
I have.
In Deliverance. So it's famous for that, as being used as the movie location for that. But anyway, these guys in a county over, literally 20 miles away from any of these water bodies, they want to go and stick a straw all the way into the milkshake of the next county and drain it for a fucking data centers.
Sounds fair.
Hey, everyone, we need your help protecting Tallulah Gorge and Tallulah Lake from the city of Demarest. Here's what happened. Demarest is a neighboring city, okay? They're not even fucking in the county where all these water bodies are. Totally different county, okay? But they are citing eminent domain, and they want to take 10 acres of private property that is on Tallulah Lake in the next county over, okay? The city is planning on building a 10-acre water treatment plant on the lakefront, even though Demarest is 20 miles away in a different city in a different county. At the same time, Habersham County, which is where all these water bodies are, is currently undergoing zoning discussions for data centers. And this Rabun County and Tallulah Lake and all this Tallulah Gorge, they're like, no, we don't want any fucking data centers. We don't want any of that shit. We like our water exactly as it is because it feeds it flows all the way down through Georgia all the way to the ocean. Like everybody depends on these water sources. Anyway, so Demarest is planning to pump millions of gallons a day from the Tallulah Lake, reducing the natural flow into Tallulah Gorge. They're trying to sell the water for profit. But Tallulah Falls and Rabun County do not want a treatment plant on the lake. And it's their county. But somehow they have to fight this eminent domain. They just cited oh, sorry, that's our milkshake actually.
Yeah, we take your land.
It's just crazy. So a bunch of Georgia naturalists and the people who run the city and the county people, they're like, okay, well, I guess we have to go to war with the neighboring fucking county or something. It's crazy. The people of Tallulah Falls and Rabun County deserve a say in what happens in their community and their water. A city 20 miles away should not be able to bulldoze its way into another county, take private property, and fundamentally change the future of the lake without a fight. Isn't that crazy? That's happening? Fuck these people. They're like, hey, the law doesn't actually let us do this, but what if we cite eminent domain and then do whatever we want anyway? Why have counties anyway? If they're going to just be like, sorry, that's our land. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, because everything is a fucking facade. And also because things are also they're designated for management, right? But when Big Brother wants Big Brother shit, Big Brother gets Big Brother shit. Whether it's the state or the...
But they're not even buying land. They're just going to seize it.
Yeah.
That land is being owned by people.
Yes.
And they're just going to be like, nope, that's ours.
Correct.
Even though it's not even their county. Not even close to them.
Look, America's a
Crazy.
big fucking fraud, right? People own homes, and that gives them the opportunity to earn from the increased equity in the home or the increased value of the home over time. But what American actually owns a home? Absolutely not one. Every single American pays taxes on their houses or their homes or their business, whatever property they have, for their entire lifetime. So you might have a title to a home, but you don't own it, and that shit can be taken away from you for any reason, whether it's you're not paying your taxes,
well, what if,
or the government has found a different fucking use for that land that you're not a part of.
Maybe I'll just cite eminent domain?
Try it. You're not the government, man. I'm going to give you my support.
And I'll steal their milkshake?
You'll at least have one line on that, one signed signature on that petition.
I have one more story for you, and this is my favorite story of the week. And so I wanted to save it for the end.
Okay, well, I have a few more. So do you want me to get through mine?
Yes.
Okay. Now it's like you told me the big present is coming.
Now you got to open up these little presents.
And I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I brought you a big present at all. You didn't say we were bringing big presents.
I didn't say it was the big present. I just said it was my favorite story. It's not a big present.
I have two main ones. The first one is a study of 34,000 Nobel laureates, Olympic champions, and world-class musicians found that the children who showed the most promise early were rarely the ones who achieved the most as adults.
Oh, they burned out?
No, I don't think it's about that. I think it's
the gifted kids were just like actually not that great.
I don't know why my thing is broken, so just forgive me, but it is.
It's so relatable. I was one of those like super achieving kids, and I haven't done shit.
Interesting, yeah. I'm living up to my unachieving ways. Proudly...
No. But if you weren't like a super achiever when you were a kid, then like the sky's the limit now. You can be like one of these Olympians.
Sorry, guys. I'm just going through it today. I just can't get anything right, and my world's kind of falling apart all around me. Let me see. Where was it? Well, now it's not even in my saved. How did that happen? Well, fuck.
Go to your history, bro.
I don't have that.
It's just another tab.
I don't see it. Okay, listen. Oh, wait, there it is. The heck?
What the heck?
A study of 34,000 Nobel laureates. Okay, so here we go. So the gifted children is one of the most powerful figures in modern parenting culture. And a lot of this comes from like, you hear about, Mozart, right? Like Mozart was probably the reason why most kids got like abusively, trained instruments as a kid,
I know.
Because they were like, this fucking kid by 12, Mozart by 12 was like writing, fucking operas or whatever, scores, whatever. What are they called?
Compositions?
No, they're called, I don't know, compositions, but whatever. Anyway, he was writing symphonies. There it is.
Symphonies.
At the age of fucking 12, right? So now everybody's got to do it because everyone can be. It's all about discipline and training.
I know you can do it, son. You're just gonna have to sit at this piano for another 12 hours.
So the gifted child is one of the most powerful figures in modern parenting culture. Identified early, placed in specialized programs, given targeted coaching and accelerated curricula, the child who shows exceptional early promise is treated as some whose trajectory is set. Early talent, the logic goes, is a preview of adult achievement. The task of parents, teachers, and coaches is to protect and develop that advantage before it is lost to neglect or misdirection. A study published by the journal Science, one of the two most prestigious scientific journals in the world, has tested that assumption against the largest database or data set of elite performers ever assembled for this purpose. The results are not what the gifted child model would have predicted.
Yeah, suck it, smart kids.
Well, I'll tell you this is a kind of a big deal because it's so interesting because kids are even told this at a younger age, like at a really young age. It's like if you miss your window, then it's gone forever. And there's some truth to that when it relates to things like, believe it or not, like chess. Like chess scientifically.
Oh, if you don't start early, you're never going to be a chess champion.
Yeah, like I'm studying chess right now, and I had to come to terms with Grandmaster is out of my reach in this lifetime.
Because you didn't start as a child.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just extremely rare that somebody who is in his middle age or her middle age can understand and grasp the quickness of pattern recognition that's required in these kids with these nimble minds that are able to sit down and calculate quickly and see things and recognize patterns with, super speed. And that's the difference between a great chess player and a not so great chess player, because a great chess player will be able to then project those moves, those patterns on the board into the future and set themselves up in a place where they can, completely dismantle their opponent. So, and athletes, yes, you can get athletic later in life and achieve, but your odds, drop dramatically if you're not a child athlete. Mm-hmm. If you're not as a child training at some level, active at some level in any given sport, then you might not develop those like early skills. This is my anecdotal. This is not in the study. This is my anecdotal shit. Math and fucking music and poetry and writing and reading and foreign languages, and this all might be fall in this category. But I'm rather certain that there are some things that kids need to learn in order to be masters later in life.
Yeah.
So a study published by the journal Science has tested that assumption. Researchers led by this person and that person from that country and this other country They analyzed data from 19 studies covering 34,000 individuals who reached the highest levels of achievement in 4 domains: science, music, chess, and sport. There you go. Look at me getting fucking already slapped about the head. The sample included Nobel laureates, Olympic champions and medalists, world-ranked chess players, and elite musicians. These are not people who performed reasonably well. They are people who reached the absolute top of their fields. The research team asked a straightforward question. Were the people who achieved the most as adults also the people who showed the most promise earliest in life? The answer across all 4 domains. Chess. I'm wrong. I'm going to become a fucking girl. Fuck you. I'm taking these limiting beliefs and I'm kicking them out. I'm going to the top.
You know what's interesting about that?
Grandmaster Dale.
Is it's exactly like the fucking the tortoise and the hare constantly proves out to be true. Like slow and steady wins the race. Like you don't have to be a high achiever as a kid in order to be a high achiever.
I mean, fuck, I got to be in first place by now.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not in first place by now.
Dale.
And where's the damn ribbon?
You are in first place in my heart. Nothing.
I'm so listen, you were easy, okay? You were real easy.
I'm easy, okay.
Yeah, you're easy. I nailed you, or like I don't mean that. That sounds sexual. I conquered you early. I wrangled you up. Mm-hmm.
Like a steer, like a steer at the rodeo.
You're the greatest thing that ever happened to me, and the world knows that. At least any of the world that pays attention to us. So the answer across all 4 domains was no. Early peak performance was negatively correlated with adult peak performance. The children who dominated earliest were on average less likely to reach the top as adults than those who developed more gradually. Among chess players, the finding was particularly stark. The top-ranked youth players at the top-ranked adult player and the adult... Just fucking take me out back. Bring the shovel. All right, here we go. One more time. Among chess players...
You don't have to read it.
Did you just talk over me?
You don't have to read it.
I need you to not talk over me.
You can just... You told the story.
Angela, you're crossing the boundaries.
Okay.
Among chess players, goddammit, the finding was particularly stark. The top-ranked youth players at the top-ranked and the adult... I'm going to finish this fucking sentence. I'm going to do it right now. Among chess players, the finding was particularly stark. The top-ranked youth players and the top-ranked adult players were nearly 90% different individuals. So only 10%. Why didn't they just say that? Why didn't they just say only 10% of the people who showed fucking great promise as young chess minds actually ended up becoming great chess minds?
Yeah.
Because that's still a really good fucking number. 10% of the people, if 10% of the people who applied themselves to any athletic exercise were able to make it to the peak, there would be more professional athletes than there are teams to play on.
God, that makes me feel like such a fucking loser.
I mean, it's never too late. According to this, it's not too late. Pull up your bootstraps and let's get going here. The negative correlation between early and adult peak performances was not a subtle statistical signal. It held across chess, science, music, and sport, and it held whether researchers looked at the highest absolute levels of achievement or at the rate of improvement over time. In sport, elite youth performers who specialized early in a single discipline showed a predictable pattern: rapid early gains followed by a plateau. Oh, my plateaus. I have so many plateaus. I have dude, look at me. I'm going to be, oh, never mind, bro. Like it happens to me all the time. I'm fucking racing up and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm good at this. And then I'm like, holy fuck, I am standing in mud.
Going nowhere. Yeah, that's story of my life too.
Yeah, late developing, probably all of ours, right? Late developing athletes who sampled multiple sports before specializing showed slower, earlier progress, but significantly higher adult peak performance.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting too, because every now and then you'll see one of these athletic stars in one of these team sports that did a bunch of other shit before they find don't you have on the Philadelphia Eagles, isn't there a rugby player or something?
Our catcher, his whole family is this salad of elite athletic.
Yeah.
But they did it they were born into athletics.
And isn't there somebody on the baseball team, the Phillies? Isn't there somebody that's used to be a football player or something like that?
Yeah, it happens a lot. I don't know anyone offhand. But.
So anyway, it's just there's a bunch of elite athletes that did other shit. But
also on the Phillies is Bryce Harper. And the interesting story about him is that he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated when he was 16 years old. So he was like, as a prodigy.
He was a prodigy, yeah.
And he lived up to his, prodigal prophecy.
I mean, whatever. I'm really glad that I didn't have a prodigal childhood. I can't even imagine if I had like super driven parents that like made sure that I was going to become the thing that I maybe showed some aptitude in when I was 10.
I could have used a little bit though. Like I had none. Like I agree. Like I don't need somebody like lording over me, but it would have been nice to have somebody be like, go get him, kid. Like I didn't even have that. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
I had, get the fuck out of the house. Get out.
Yeah, right.
It's enough out of both of you.
I know. My parents, they put me in sports that I didn't even want to be in. I was a tall kid, so they were like, okay, basketball for you because you don't have to buy any gear. Like it's like super cheap.
It's like, here's a ball.
So they
make something of yourself.
I fucking hated it. I hated it so much. Every single minute I hated it. And my teammates were like, God, she sucks. I was like, yeah, I know, because I hate it. But my parents kept taking me because they just wanted me to go do something.
In chess, the pattern was dramatic. The overlap between the world's top youth players and the world's top adult players was approximately 10%. See? They could have just done that. The vast majority of the world's best adult chess players were not among the world's best junior chess players. The child prodigy and the elite adult were, statistically speaking, nearly disjointed populations.
Yeah.
So, and in science, Nobel laureates and highly cited researchers were more likely to have had broad intellectual interests and diverse research trajectories in the early parts of their careers than to have been narrow prodigies who dominated their field from childhood.
That makes a ton of sense because you want to have your top scientists be really well-rounded. And the same thing with these writers, like the, what did you say? These like Pulitzers or whatever?
Laureates?
Yeah, but that was for science, right?
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
One of the other categories. You said chess, you said Olympics.
Sport, chess, science, music.
Music,
so
okay.
In music,
right.
In music, the same pattern emerged. Grammy-winning and critically acclaimed musicians were more likely to have had varied musical educations, to have played multiple instruments, and to have developed more slowly than their more precocious peers who specialized intensely from an early age.
Precocious.
So fuck you, Mozart. You one-trick pony.
Hack.
You fucking one-trick pony. Yeah, go write your symphony, dude. I play metal and country. Country metal. Try it.
Would you like to hear a totally bonkers science story? We have 5 minutes left. And so I wanted to sprinkle this on your head.
I have a couple more things to get through, so we have more than 5 minutes left. But go ahead.
No. We're going to save those for next time.
No.
Why?
We're not.
They're not time sensitive.
I have to get these ones out. Yes, this one is.
Why?
There's two. We're going to spend more time arguing about it than actually just doing it.
Okay, well, I will save my thing for next time.
Your big one? No, get it right now. Let's do it.
That's what it takes.
Hit me. Let's go.
Dale.
Yes.
Autistic people have psychedelics in their pee.
Oh, that's so great.
This is actually a thing.
But how do we... Oh, that's not going to look good on the resume.
Autistic pee is psychedelic.
You're hired. All right, now here's what I need you to do. This is going to sound weird, and I'm going to afford you all the privacy you need. But I'm going to need you to... Let me get this bottle. I'm going to need you to pee in this jar every day. And you're going to have to drink at least 8 cups a day while you're working. In fact, your job is to drink water and produce urine. Okay? Sit right there next to the horseshoe crab.
Dude, this guy on Twitter said it. Everybody was like, get the fuck out of here. That's not fucking true. And he was like, no, check it out. And there's 2 different studies. These are published on PubMed. Elevated urine levels of bufotenine in patients with autism. Elevated endogenous psychedelic whatever.
Oh my God.
It's
My Little Pony. I mean,
bufotenine. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's bufotenine. It naturally occurs
B-O-F.
Yes, bufotenine. Bufotenine. Yeah. Oh, you said it like you've said it a dozen times in your life. It naturally occurs in this one kind of seed, an Anadenanthera seed, and It is secreted along in the venom of a toad.
Oh, yeah.
There's a specific type of toad
I've heard of this one.
that has psychedelic secretions in their venom.
It's actually bufotenine. Bufotenine.
Bufotenine. Okay. It is an alkaloid with psychedelic and psychoactive properties that closely resembles the structure of serotonin.
Wow.
Yes, so that's how it's active in your brain. The objective of this systemic review was to determine...
Are they drinking their own pee, these people?
If higher concentrations of urinary bufotenine occur in patients with a mental illness compared to healthy controls. It's really interesting. So they don't know if it's like a chicken or the egg type thing. Like, if your kidneys are creating this substance, is it affecting your mental health? Or is your mental health causing these excretions to come out of your bloodstream and into your urine?
So the big question is, are these toads autistic?
Are the toads autistic? No. They're venomous toads. And they also get their prey really high. I guess it's not prey. It's probably defensive.
It's like, oh, wow, man, what'd you do? It'd be like, you're going to be fine. But what did you do?
No, there's a lot of animals like that where like their defense mechanism is to get the predators super fucking high.
Can I confess something to you, Mr. Toad? I was totally going to eat you, bro. I know. Don't worry. I'm not going to now because I see life in a totally different light. And I see you in a different light. You're brilliant. You're special. And I love you, and I'm never going to eat another toad.
There is evidence
and then he just grabs a mouse and shoves it in his mouth and gobbles it down.
No, you never would do that on psychedelics. That would be so fucking weird.
Well, this thing did.
There is evidence that bufotenine is produced endogenously in human subjects and is associated with mental illness, in particular schizophrenia and autism spectrum disorder.
No kidding.
Yep. A total of 8 full-text papers were included in the study. Let me see where I am. With a total of 609 participants, of whom 275 had a psychiatric diagnosis and 318 were healthy controls. Patients with mental illness urinary bufotenine was detected, compared with only 92 of the non-psychiatric subjects. So sometimes you cannot have a diagnosis and also have psychedelic pee. 92 of 318 people did have that.
They just had psychedelic pee?
They just had psychedelic pee.
They were like, yes! Yes! Like, what are you drinking? Is that Gatorade? No, it's not. It's not Gatorade at all. But I feel great.
Oh, man. It's so weird.
That is the craziest thing I've ever heard. I had no... Look, I mean, that's great news. And I don't know why I think that's great news, but I feel like that's great news. I actually think that makes me... Like, I already have this deep sort of empathy and affection for the autistic community and for those who suffer from
me too.
Suffer from autism.
Yeah, because I feel like it's primarily a problem of our society not being accommodating to their needs.
I mean, listen, I would hold on to that loosely if I were you, just because, again, I saw, a non-speaking autistic child, and it was rough, and I saw more than one because this family had multiple kids suffering, and suffering is a good word. They did not look like life was going well, and they did not behave like life was going well. And yes, I think that their lives probably did get, because I don't know them anymore, but probably did get better. I'm hoping they got better over time as the people who surround and love them were able to figure out how to fulfill the needs that they didn't know how to ask for, or that they couldn't ask for, rather, right? Because of our limitations in terms of communication. So, but I have a deep affection, a deep empathy, and a deep interest in the autistic, because the other thing that we talked about so often on here is the Telepathy Tapes podcast. And on that, I think that they did an amazing job at showing some of the deep and important gifts that are very apparent in many autistic individuals, particularly those who are non-speaking. So I think that there's a great deal for us to learn and grow from as it relates to these very important people in our lives. So it's an interesting thing, because it's so easy to, on the surface, see these kids or these adults and see them as these handicapped, disadvantaged, disabled, whatever, description you want to use individuals rather than gifted. And, even if challenging and difficult in terms of the barrier. But, if you've ever been to a country where you didn't speak the other language and you had nobody there to interpret, and there wasn't such a thing as a smartphone that you could
oh yeah, it's so isolating.
Whip up. It's the most isolating thing, but it makes it very easy for especially if you're the one who is the minority in the situation to kind of make it you almost feel like you're intellectually inadequate. I don't want to say dumb. I want to say, but like just how like there's some kind of inferiority complex that just kind of bulls its way in.
No, this happened to me when I was learning Portuguese. I have a bunch of Brazilian family, and I grew up here in the U.S. and I didn't continue practicing throughout my childhood. So I had to learn Portuguese in my teens, and man, it's crazy because when you have your first language and you're really good at articulating yourself and you can sort of navigate any kind of conversation, like I could talk to people about politics, or I could listen to somebody speak really intelligently about sciences, even if I've never studied the sciences. But when you get into a group of people who are all talking and you're just starting to learn the language, but you don't have that kind of fluency where you can just like talk like an adult. Like when you recognize that you're like, oh, I understand this language at like a fucking second grade level, Right. And I'm just like having to sit in these conversations and be like a small child, right? It's extremely isolating.
Pointing to pictures and symbols.
Yeah, or like if, the extent of your fluency is like you can order at a restaurant or something. You're getting there, but you're still a kid,
Indeed.
It's really frustrating. Anyway, this is really interesting about this psychedelic pee because they're also saying that at present it's likely too early to propose this psychedelic pee as a possible biomarker for mental illness. Like they're saying if we can identify that people with these specific conditions have psychedelic pee, then that could be the thing that you test to see if they have those conditions.
You're fucking tripping, bro. Well, let's just see. Give me that cup.
But it's too early to say. They also said, also further research is merited, especially given that endogenously produced psychedelic bufotenine could be implicated in the pathophysiology of mental illness. So that's what they're saying is like it could be that the presence of this chemical could be causing the issue. They don't know yet. This is brand new. Isn't that neat?
I love it. I mean, I fucking love it. I want to get my pee tested immediately.
Yeah.
Can you check it? Be like, go to the doctor and be like, yeah, I need to get a urine test. Okay, yeah, what are we looking for?
Let me just spell it real quick.
Proteins? No, not proteins. No, we're looking for, what's it called? Bufotenine.
Imagine coming with like a specific substance that you're trying to find in your pee. That'd be like,
just find that.
This guy's insane.
Be like, why do you want that? Well, because I want to know if I'm going to drink it or not. Obviously.
Gross. I would leave you.
You're like, coming to the bathroom
That's
and I'm like,
fucking
I'm
deal
like, I'm
breaker.
microdosing.
It's a deal breaker, bro. Full stop.
A couple of quick updates that have to happen on every show until all flock cameras are gone. But in our Flock Rebellion, we have this crazy story. Somebody on Flock Surveillance, our Flock Surveillance, posted that they had a buyer. They were a realtor. This person said that they had a buyer cancel a showing because HOA has the HOA for the.
Yeah.
They had flock cameras at both entrances and including one by the pool.
Oh my God.
One by the pool, bro. The fuck out of here. And there's another case where an officer was arrested for using flock cameras more than 700 times to track his estranged wife.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Of course they were going to be used like that.
Motherfuckers.
You know what's fucked up? They've already been doing that. Dudes like that have already been using police resources to stalk their fucking exes. And it's only now that people are being scrutinous of what the fuck is going on with the flock cameras.
Come over here. I need you to pull over my wife. Just pull her over. Nah, just whatever.
You know what's messed up is that a lot of these communities are against flock, and we've gone too far with branding our opposition to surveillance cameras being everywhere with the brand name. So what they're doing is they're like, okay, fine. We've listened. The voters have spoken and they don't want flock cameras. That's fine. So what they do is they cut off the flock cameras and they install this other company.
Yeah.
That does the same exact shit. They're just going to rebrand.
Mock. They're going to be like the mock cameras.
Right.
From flock to mock.
I saw this one this week. using flock cameras, Wisconsin officials watched a man drive from Wisconsin to Michigan to go to a weed dispensary across state lines. Okay. And then they pulled him over for possession when he got back home. And they only knew that he had gone because they
so infuriating, dude. It's such a violation.
Let's see.
There's just the Fourth Amendment just doesn't exist anymore.
This person was bringing up the story because they were like, now they can do that. They can track a dude across state lines, find out if he visited a fucking weed dispensary so that they can get him for a possession charge when he returns home. But an estimated 460 to 600,000 children go missing in the U.S. every year, and they don't know where they fucking went. Like, they're not interested in actually solving crimes.
Infuriating.
They're just trying to fuck with people. Anyway, shall we call it?
Let me just check because there was one last thing that I wanted to get on if I can. I just have to find it real quick. Hefner, yes. Save that one. I'll save that one because I want to have more fun with it. Oh, look, I had Barbie's 2 in crisis.
Barbie 2 in crisis. Whatever. Just pay.
Your mom's
just
in crisis.
Pay up.
Okay, here's the last thing I'm going to do.
Okay.
So this is the same guy with Barbie who took out the fucking Acme, right? Coyote versus Acme.
Yeah.
Heartbreak for all the people who made that movie.
Yeah.
I know that heartbreak extremely well.
Yeah, there's practical effects artists that did the most ingenious shit in order to pull off that movie.
Yeah, just so many people depending on that movie, having it pulled out from under them. Happens to me all the time, unfortunately, or has happened. I shouldn't say that, but you know what I mean. Whatever. So there's a review thread on Reddit. Listen to some of these. So this is Coyote versus Acme. The Rotten Tomatoes is at 97% with 56. Yeah, 56 reviews. The Metacritic is at 75 with 20 reviews.
That's awesome.
Here are some of the quotes. Variety says, at heart, Coyote versus Acme is a courtroom comedy. But the upshot of the movie is to integrate as much Roadrunner-style mayhem as possible into a live-action universe. The film is chock full of nods and references and jokey Looney Tunes Easter eggs. It could have been called Remembrance of Rube Goldberg Bombs Past.
Yeah, sweet.
This one is, it's a pleasure to report that the film is a hilarious delight, one of the best live-action / animation films ever, and will be treasured by Looney Tunes fans, and who isn't one, who will be thrilled seeing their favorite cartoon characters return to the big screen. 3 years later, we finally get to see what it's all about. And I can tell you, this is IndieWire. 3 years later, we can, because that's such an indie film, this one. 3 years later, we can finally get to see what it's all about. And I can tell you that it's a delightful gem of a movie. For me, at least, ironically, not only the best Warner Brothers film released so far this year, it also is hands down the best animated live action tune since Zemeckis' classic Who Framed Roger Rabbit hit the screens 4 decades ago. Sorry, Space Jam. I laughed out loud throughout this terrific concoction that is smart, funny, heartwarming, and winning in every fucking way. And this is why I'm telling you right now that the Barbie bullshit is Barbie bullshit. And when this Acme thing went down, I turned to you and I told you, no, fuck it. They're just taking a write-off now. This movie's coming out years later, especially if it's good. There's no goddamn way they're not just going to take the 180, 190 million write-off when they need it for the stockholders.
I don't know, man.
And then throw it into earnings because then they have to like put that money back in the books.
You're so sure, but like, doesn't everybody always complain about how the executives are fucking idiots in that town?
Yeah, but
like you never know whether they're going to do anything.
But they're not going to throw away the money. They're going to use the money. This is the same way of how the rich people get away with not paying taxes by borrowing against their assets and then paying off loans and being like, "What? I'm just borrowing money. Life is tough." Right? Mm-hmm. Well, it's no different. This is all corporate nonsense. This is just a movie that got shelved in order to get a huge tax write-off that they needed in order to keep the stock stable for the fucking investors who are watching a ticker instead of watching what's actually going on in the creation and the creative process,
right.
Who don't give a shit about any of that stuff to begin with. And so it makes just absolute total sense that they're not going to throw it away. There's no trash can that it goes into. They're just like, oh yeah, it's a write-off. We're not going to release it. And then I'm like, on second thought, And then the IRS says, okay, well, you got to put that 190 back on the books. And they do because they had a better year, or, there's a place where they could, offset the books and keep the stockholders happy. It's always about the capitalism. Mm-hmm. And that's why I knew that movie was going to come out. And that's why I know that the Barbie movie can't be shelved. It's never going to happen. We should watch the first one.
Yeah.
I don't really have that much of an interest in it.
No, me neither.
Beyond like just the curiosity of it. I don't actually have.
I'm worried that I'm going to hate it because all of the other movies everybody seems to love, I don't like, and so I just feel like I'm so bad at this.
Yeah, me too. And even though like when you go into it, you're like, oh, it's a Barbie movie. What's to like? Really? I mean, what's to love? Mm-hmm. So the expectations should be low going in. Really, for me, like they are, because I'm like, it's like I don't give a fuck about this IP, and it's about buying into what they're going for, right? It's like the Brady Bunch movie was like that, right? There was the Brady Bunch, which took itself seriously.
Yeah, right.
And then there was the Brady Bunch movie, which I didn't even see coming, where it parodied its own self, right?
I know, and they really pulled it off. Like, it was so clean that way.
It worked. People loved it. Everyone went out in droves. I enjoyed it. It was making fun of our past selves, and our old ways. It was pretty cool. You guys are the fucking best. I'm sorry that, the movie started out really crazy, or the movie. I'm sorry that the live started out a little nuts because we're just going through a lot right now, and we're really, fighting to keep the lights on, if you will. So it's just stuff we're going through, and so we got hit pretty hard today, and we're working through it. But you guys are definitely the light at the end of the tunnel. It's really fun hanging out with you. You guys you guys kind of make the kind of clouds go away, and you allow us to come on here and just be stupid and have fun, and so we appreciate you for that. We will be back on Thursday, and I hope you'll come and hang out with us. See you guys. Have a good night.
Good night.